course, and thank you for the invitation. So first, a few words maybe on PexaPark. So we're a market intelligence software advisory company. So on the advisory side, we support clients with originating, structuring, and signing PPAs. We supported over 35 gigawatts of PPAs and 1 gigawatt of BESS. And on our platform, we provide PPA reference prices and market intelligence for 19 markets in Europe, plus the US, as you mentioned. So feel free to reach out if that's of interest to you. Quickly, I'll give an overview of the European PPA markets and then dive a bit more specifically on the Romanian one, the reason we're here today. So here we have 4 charts, which I think tell most of the story in Europe. So more deals are being signed increasingly by corporates. There's a decrease in the appetite of utilities for PPAs. There's more first-time buyers. That means that there's a sort of popularization of PPAs, and smaller deals are being signed because smaller companies are interested. I should say that the overall capacity remains sort of stagnant between 2024 and 2023 because utilities are, as I said, a bit less interested. So interestingly, so on the left side, this is the total capacity of PPA signed in Europe in 2024. This comes from our PPA tracker, which is basically the sum of all publicly available information on PPAs. So Spain has been in the top 1 for 5 years, no surprise there, with Germany being strong second for the second year, and France and Italy gaining more and more importance in the market. I should also mention that 50% of those deals are actually solar deals. And you'll see that Romania has cracked the top 10, which is very, very exciting, with 12 deals and more than 500 megawatts of PPA signed last year. So utilities are still present in the Romanian market, where corporates have an increasing appetite. I would say that the AIB membership, supposed to be next year, will for sure increase the interest from corporates, both local and international, for guarantees of origin in Romania. That got messed up a bit. So this is the list of deals from Romania. As you can see, 5 deals signed between 2021 and 2023, 12 in 2024, and 5 this year just for Q1. You recognize some names here, as it's most of the people in the room. On the buyer side, it's mostly utilities, telecom companies, both local and international, and international corporates who are willing to extend their local footprint by signing PPAs. And on the seller side, you can see there's sort of an overlap with what you see on the renewable auctions. So usual suspects. And I think it's a great example of CFDs and PPAs working side by side to develop the renewable market. More specifically on the actual terms of the PPAs, I would say that Romania is no exception to what we see in other markets. Essentially, the CFD auctions send strong signal, both in terms of pricing, tenor, risk allocation, to the PPA market. So here in Romania, we have tenors around between 6 to 10 years, and you'll see that beginning of the year, it actually getting longer and longer. So I painted a good picture of the Romanian PPA market, but there are still some challenges. I think some of them were mentioned earlier. First is, I would say, the illiquidity of the markets. You have about a year of forward liquid market in Romania, which is a bit tricky for utilities to hedge on the long term, and also for corporates to price their PPAs on a 10-year, 15-year time horizon. second challenge, I would say, is the capture risk. 2024 has seen very, very low capture rates with up to, 50, 60% capture rate compared to base load during the summer. So that eventually gets priced in the solar PPAs. It's a bit less true for wind. And the last one, which was already mentioned as well, is the balancing risk, especially for wind. We had stakeholders report balancing costs as high as 25% of the baseload price. So that's a really challenging business case. And there's also the topic of the liquidity of the balancing, because you can't hedge your balancing over the lifetime of your PPA. You can maybe do 1 year, 2 if you're lucky, but the standard is around 6 months. And those challenges actually get reflected in the market. So what we do at PexaPark is we pull local players to see what would be the price they would be willing to pay for PPA, both on the sell side and the buy side. And what we see here is that there's a large spread between buyers. So almost a €30 spread between the minimum value we get and the maximum value we get. Because those challenges I mentioned in the previous slide actually get priced really differently depending on the stakeholders. And just to wrap it up, so maybe give a bit of our outlook on the PPA market for Romania. So as I mentioned, the CFD auctions have been really successful in 2024, and that sends a strong price signal and sort of term signal to the PPA market, and also it might bring back the more bargaining powers for sellers, as now there's alternative route to markets. You can do both CFDs and PPAs. I already mentioned the AIB membership, where that would bring interest from international corporates. The law on offshore wind is always tricky to discuss in Romania. For sure, it will need government support, but if it comes through, it will definitely shape the renewable landscape in the country. And maybe a last point, which is not so related to PPA, but I think is a good example of regulation actually making improvement on investment strategies of companies. So the removal of the double BESS taxation and exemptions on tariffs for transmission, etc. So yeah, for sure that sends a strong signal to investors for the storage market. And yeah, if you're interested about the topic, feel free to come in and discuss. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nicolas. În încheiere, în timp ce audiența își pregătește întrebările, aș vrea să facem o rundă fulger. Care ar fi sfatul dumneavoastră pentru un consumator aflat în acest moment în ceea ce privește piața de PPA-uri? În 10 cuvinte sau mai puțin? So I want to do a lightning round really quickly. So in 10 words or less, what would be your advice to a consumer in the current PPA environment in Romania? Who wants to start? Cine vrea să înceapă?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I can start. I would say definitely checking the negative prices clauses in your PPAs. I mean, there's not that many negative hours in Romania yet, but what we've seen in other countries is that it's better to be safe than sorry.
Thank you very much.